Dave Golair agus Fulcher. I'm delighted to open this really important seminar, which brings together the policy, academic, and civil society worlds in a dialogue, and I'm sure a crucible of creativity towards improving policy. The provision of evidence for policy is now baked into the expectations of higher education institutions, most clearly exemplified by Research Ireland's current strategic emphasis on enhancing engaged research to strengthen Irish society, providing evidence-based research and innovation system insights, and most particularly through shaping evidence-informed public policy and practice. This university here in Galway is committed to strengthening the research to policy bridge as set out in our university strategy, namely, and I quote, engage leading partners in research, industry, government and other sectors, as well as communities in our region to maximise our positive impact on the world. I acknowledge the role of colleagues in the research office who are leading this on our behalf. Now, I know I'm speaking to a fantastic audience on such a warm day. I'm mightily impressed that you've all come in here. That's wonderful. And I know that you probably are veterans of this series. If you're not, this is the third of 3 seminars. Each have focused on one pillar of the Ireland's Policy Handbook. Today's focus, I hope you know, is on designing policy for successful implementation. But that builds on previous seminars on evidence and engagement. As HEIs, we really should be humble and have the humility to recognise that our contribution is just one element of the policy-making process. But at the same time, we do need to have the confidence to assert the value of that contribution. And critically, we need to keep developing our capacity to make that impact. Today is part of the continuing process towards building mutual understanding among stakeholders in the research policy engagement ecosystem of the needs of policymakers, politicians, civil and public servants, of the HEIs who create research evidence, and of civil society organisations, which bring the knowledge from experience of providing and receiving, importantly, services to the policy-making table. We can say that this and our previous events have been unique in their generosity of our civil and public service partners through the sharing their experiences in a transparent way in a public forum. That is so important. Certainly, as John mentioned, from my background, it's very easy to be tokenistic in that space and to think that you've played lip service. But of course, the civil society organisations, as I've just mentioned, are not only those that can bring the input into shaping policy from a user perspective, but are obviously at the end of the day, the recipients in many ways through their members of those policies and their effects. So that part of the triangle between policymakers, academia and civil society organisations is absolutely critical. And that's one of the real exciting things to me about this, this whole session today. I would particularly like to welcome and thank all of our contributors. Our plenary presenter, Professor Michael Kenny, which will be through a recorded presentation, case study presenters, some of whom I had the pleasure of meeting last night, and also our panellists. Likewise, it was great to meet many of you last night. A special thanks to Minister Jack Chambers, who's going to again provide a recorded opening message, and a warm welcome also to former Minister Richard Bruton. Really nice to see you here, Richard. Thank you. I'd also like to thank our partners and co-organisers of the event, Barry Vaughan and Elizabeth Canavan from the Department of Antishok, and Dr. Fergal Lynch, Chair of the National Council for Special Education, former Secretary General of the Department of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the wonderful leadership role of ILAS, one of our fantastic research institutes within this university, which is engaged in research and building meaningful and inclusive partnerships with citizens and organisations across the life course, something I'm particularly passionate and interested in. So it's real sadness, and I'm looking at the program and thinking there's nothing I would have liked more to have been able to stay with you and go to the back benches and just soak this wonderful program up. But sadly, I'm going to have to go shooting off when I've finished. But I really do hope that you have a productive and stimulating day. Goramila Mahaga.